Probably the first and only Prius you'll ever see parked on a curb like it's an off-road vehicle.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video on Pure Panorama. This video, as you just saw in the beginning, we got the big line fuel kit installed on the 24 valve Cummins. Finally got our push lock 90-degree fittings in from Diesel Auto Power. Thursday I had received the package, and the two 3/8 inch inner diameter ones that I needed weren't in there because Diesel Auto Power was out of stock. They had to drop ship them to me, but they came in this morning. I'm currently waiting on a 1 11/16 socket to get here from UPS that I ordered. So once I get that in, I'm gonna start jacking the front end of the truck up and getting into that, seeing if I can't get some front end work done on it today and tomorrow. But I thought in the meantime, while I waited for that part to get here, that socket, before I could get started on the front end of the truck, I would give you this video as far as how to get a Fleece Cheetah Turbo. Well, it's not really a Fleece Cheetah, but how to get a Cheetah Turbo that like Fleece produces and puts out and sells on many diesel websites for half the price. So I want to start the video off first by saying that I am not making this video in any way, shape, or form to badmouth Fleece or their products or anything, because they are a great company. They do make great products. If you guys haven't checked out Fleece in any way, shape, or form, I do recommend doing that because they are a good company. I'm making this video for guys who are more like me, maybe on a budget, looking to do a turbo upgrade on their 24 valve Cummins and just don't have $1,800 extra laying around maybe, or might want to just be more cautious with what they spend and still get a turbo upgrade and maybe take the rest of the money that they would have spent and put it towards another mod that would complement the turbo or just something else for the truck in general. So Fleece makes Cheetah turbos for Duramax's, Power Strokes, and the Cummins trucks, and I am basically going to be touching base on the Cheetah for my style truck, which is a 24 valve Cummins, a second gen. On these second gen style trucks, the 2000s, 01s, and the 02s come with an automatic transmission. They come with a stock HY35 turbo. So many people like to try and get that turbo off the truck and upgrade. Now the thing with the Cheetah turbo is it's an HX35, and a lot of people try to upgrade to the HX35, which is still a stock turbo on these trucks, but they come with a manual transmission, or on the high output Cummins trucks, not the automatic. So people try to upgrade to them because they're a little bigger, you can get more boost out of them. Now what Fleece does is they get stock HX35 turbo cores in, and then they break them all down, they clean them, that goes through a whole cleaning process, and then they do machine work on it and they completely rebuild it with bigger compressor wheels, turbine, and new upgraded bearings in the bearing housing. And then they put it all back together, they put it out on the market for sale, and people buy them, put them on their truck. Now the thing with the Fleece Cheetah Turbo is that it's a 63mm compressor. They machine the exhaust side of things out, the turbine, to as large as they can go, which is probably anywhere from like 65 to 68mm, I believe, on those HX35s. They rebuild it all with a billet compressor wheel, all that good stuff, new 360 thrust bearing. They put a new wastegate actuator on it, and basically what you're getting is a brand new turbo that looks like a stock one. It's a complete drop-in replacement for the stock turbo on your truck, but it is more a performance turbo. And I think that's what draws me to it the most, is the fact that it is just a drop-in replacement for the stock turbo on your Cummins truck, on your second gen 24 valve. And it just doesn't look like a big aftermarket beefy big single or whatever, but it can hold up with some of those big singles. Now they're rated for anywhere from 400 to 650 horsepower is what they say on the website, but I think it has been shown and proven that they can go almost on up to like 750-ish, maybe pushing 800. But that's probably pretty risky, and you probably could run a chance of doing damage to the turbo, so I wouldn't recommend that. But still, a direct replacement, direct drop-in replacement turbo that is looking stock but built up, beefed up, and still a larger turbo that can hold up to 650, 700 horsepower. That's pretty darn good. Some guys like to go up that high with horsepower numbers, but a lot of guys, they're not looking to go up that high. So to know that you're gonna have a turbo on the truck that can handle that, that's a good feeling. The other cool thing with the Fleece Cheetah is that even though it's a bigger turbo, because it's still in the stock form, I guess, in the stock housings, but they just machined it out and put bigger compressor and turbine in it, it's able to handle stock fuel if you don't have fueling upgrades yet. So you could put it on your truck and it would still be okay with the stock fueling of your Cummins truck, or it is obviously capable of handling fueling mods too, and being able to supply enough air for bigger injectors and things of that nature. Now when you do upgrade the compressor wheel size and stuff, you do also have to upgrade the exhaust side of things so that you get enough exhaust flow and pressure to spin that bigger comp wheel and push that air through the truck and through the system to burn off that fuel if you have fueling mods. So you don't want to typically upgrade the compressor side of things without upgrading the exhaust side of things, because then the turbo will be laggy and just won't perform the way that it should. So let me show you how I am basically going to be doing a Fleece Cheetah turbo on my 24 valve Cummins for half the price of what they sell them for on the websites. So obviously I told you that they take an HX35 core and they machine them out and rebuild them and stuff. So I went and bought this HX35 used for $200, and my plans are to have this thing completely built, but I have ordered in a rebuild kit for right now because I do need to pull the HY35 off of my truck in order to rebuild that so that I can still have a good functioning turbo on the truck while I send this HX35 out to have the work done on it. So what they do and what I'm going to have done by Turbo Lab of America is who I contacted, because they're very familiar with these HX35s, the HX40s, and things of that nature. When I send this out to Turbo Lab of America, they're going to do the same thing that Fleece does and machine all of this bulk out of here so that the bigger compressor wheel can fit in there. And then on the exhaust side of things, I'm gonna have this whole exhaust housing machined out to accept a 68mm turbine wheel. So to have that work done from Turbo Lab of America, Austin had quoted me $600, and that included the machining of the compressor cover, the exhaust housing, and then the parts, obviously, the new upgraded bigger billet compressor wheel, the new turbine and shaft, and also the rebuild kit so that they can put the turbo back together for me and rebuild it and send it back out, and everything will be 100% completed when I get it back. So we're looking at $200 that I spent for the used HX35 turbo, $600 to have it machined out and get the new bigger billet wheel in there, the new turbine, the bigger turbine, and have it fully rebuilt and sent back out to me. So we're at $800 so far. Now we have to still get a wastegate for it, which I just actually received yesterday in the mail. Now Fleece works with a company called Turbosmart, and ever since I saw their Cheetah Turbo for the 24 valve Cummins, I just kind of fell in love with it, but I knew that I really wasn't willing to spend $1,800 on one of those. They are very, very pricey, and honestly I think they're a little they're a little overpriced for what it is, because anybody can do this and go out and get an HX35 and do what Fleece is doing. Obviously it might not be set up 100% like Fleece is, but it's basically more or less going to be the same type of Cheetah Turbo that they're making and selling for 1,800 bucks, and it's gonna cost you half of that. Just because I spent 200 bucks on my HX35 doesn't mean that you might find one for 200. You could find one for 100 or 150, and then you might know someone who does machine work, or you might be able to do the machine work yourself and save money there. So it could end up costing you even less than that, but it's gonna cost me about half the price of what that is to get a Cheetah Turbo on my truck. One of the things that really drew me into the Cheetah Turbo was just the clean and crispy look of the wastegate on the turbo. So this is basically what really kind of drew me into the Cheetah, and the look of the Cheetah was this nice, clean, crispy wastegate actuator that they have on the turbo. Now obviously that sucker is gonna sit right in there on the compressor cover and mount up here to the wastegate on the exhaust housing, but just look at this thing, man. It just looks so clean and crisp with the silver, the black, and then Fleece paints their compressor covers black, and everything just looks really, really good with that big billet wheel poking out. Now the thing with these Turbosmart wastegates is that you can take these apart, and there are 3 springs inside. There's a inner, a middle, and an outer spring, and they're all set for different PSIs. So what you can do is change those springs up and stuff, and it will set the wastegate for different PSI ratings and things like that. So right now this is actually for a 5.9 Cummins truck, and it's preset to 26 PSI. So at a minimum you are going to get 26 pounds of boost out of your turbo. Now the other thing with the HX35 and building it into a Cheetah Turbo like Fleece does is that you can do an adjustable boost elbow in it, to where it'll have a little screw in it, and you can close it off or open it up and allow less or more air to flow through to this wastegate. And then by doing that, obviously you know that this is preset to give you no less than 26 pounds of boost, but by adjusting your adjustable boost elbow, you can bump that up to 30, 35, 40. And I have heard, well, if you machine it out and go bigger with the compressor and stuff like that, probably up around 45-ish pounds would be a good sweet spot, depending on what other mods you have on the truck. Or you can run it down around the stock number of 26 pounds, and if you don't have many mods done to the truck, 26 pounds would probably be good, but then you'll have it all set up and have the option to just turn her up once you start getting those other performance mods, the fueling mods and stuff like that on your truck. So that Turbosmart wastegate is 155 bucks. We got 200 here, so you're looking $355 plus 600, 955 bucks. So that is literally half the price of what Fleece sells their Cheetahs for through their website or any other the diesel performance websites. Then you got to factor in the shipping costs and things like that. I don't know if you get whacked with taxes and stuff, but I basically wanted a Fleece Cheetah. I knew that I wasn't willing to spend that 1,800 bucks, and I knew that there was a smarter way to go about putting one on my 24 valve Cummins, and there I just showed you how I'm going to do that. Mine isn't going to match theirs exactly, obviously, but it is gonna be more or less the same thing. I'm probably gonna maybe go with a different color for my compressor housing, but we will have the same sexy, crispy looking wastegate on there, and we will hopefully have that nice good turbo on the 24 valve soon enough. I'm not gonna do the machine work and build it into the Cheetah until after I change and put on a fresh VP44 injection pump. So you guys, if you saw the last video where I said I'm gonna try and wrap up the front end work, and then we're gonna finish the HX35 build, put it on the truck in stock form for right now, and then focus on getting everything together together that I need and want for the VP44 install. Once all that stuff is done in the VP44, we can focus on that, get that done and out of the way. I'm going to pull the HX35 back off the truck. We're gonna send it out, have it all machined, built, and then get it back as our Cheetah Turbo, and we're gonna go ahead, throw it on the truck. Then we can look at starting to do more power mods and starting to bring the fun out in this 24 valve Cummins truck. I hope you guys liked that video. I hope it could help somebody out. If you guys are looking to do a turbo upgrade, maybe don't have the coin to spend on some of those turbos that are out there on the internet, or you just are more like me, you want to do things more on a budget and you know that there's better ways of going about stuff. If you did enjoy it or it was able to help you out or it gave you any good ideas, go ahead and do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button on your way out. If you're stopping into the channel for the first time, we have plenty to do still on my 24 valve Cummins. It seems like the list goes on and on and on and on, and it just never stops. So I do suggest hitting that subscribe button and not missing anything that we have coming to the channel here in the future. But right now, I'm gonna go give this girl a test run with that big line fuel kit installed on it finally, and we're gonna continue to wait for UPS to get here so we can start tearing the front end of the truck apart. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
I just wanna keep